So you take the finished heart here and you turn it like we will be facing the heart down, all right? Because this is the shape of the head we want. And we will sew this in the center here of the heart, all right? This will be the face of the card soldier, okay? So here you will just sew, leave this red yarn, you know, for later, because when we are sewing in the card you will need. And here you just basically sew it around. This is how I like to sew details like this. So I bring the yarn up, I bring the yarn down, and I take one stitch from the heart. Okay. Then I bring the yarn up to the stitch and then down again on the stitch next to it. So I'm basically sewing between the posts of the stitch because I think this looks nicer for details that it's on a surface like this one. So continue sewing here and I will catch you up later. Great. Once you're done, remember, not the heart facing up. The heart should be facing down, okay? I'm gonna just make two little eyes here. So I take an embroidering thread and I will just find here just the spots. Leave this here for fastening later. I will take here two lines here to embroider the eyes. Here, if you're using safety eyes, of course, you do this before you sew the detail, okay? All right, this is looking very nice for me. I will just bring this tail to the back. We can cut this out. Now here I'm securing this thread because it's just a very simple detail we did for the eyes. Cut this and let's hide this in between the hearts. Great. Let me organize this. Now I can pull it, it will not come out because it's very nice and fastened. Great, we are done with that. Now we'll work here the back detail. So the card on its back is yellow, right? So here you'll start with a simple knot and we'll chain 12. All right, so work your 12 chains, skip the first one, skip the first two chains, not the first one, the first two chains, and start working with half double crochet. Okay, work all your 10 half double crochet here, and I will catch you up at the end of this round just to show you how to return with this round. With these rows, we are working in rows here, okay? So here we are on the last chain. You chain 2, turn, and you continue working your half double crochet here. All right, so work your half double crochet, and like this you will repeat until row 12. So 10 double crochet, chain 2, and turn. All right, so work your repetitions here, and I will catch you up at the end. Very easy. Once this detail is done, so 12 rows of 10 half double crochet, I will chain 1 here, and we will start crocheting the sides. So here you will make single crochet. So you chain 1, you make 2 single crochet on the first stitch. Now we are going down here, and you will work 14 single crochet on this diagonal. Okay, I work 14 single crochets. You can work as many single crochet here, it really doesn't matter, just as long as it's not curling the detail, it's enough. And we will continue working all the way around. And once you're done, this is how it should be looking like. The pattern is written there. So chain 1, 2 single crochet in the first chain, 14 single crochet in diagonal, 2 single crochet in the last stitch, 9 single crochet in the foundation chain, and then you repeat all over again. Okay, follow the pattern and this is how it should be looking like. Now let's start assembling this toy. So here you see this is the foundation chain where we just started the card. This is where we sew it together at the end. So this is facing up. And we will sew right there in the corner between rounds 2 and 3. You will sew the arms. Okay, so you have 3 stitches from the arm and you will sew with 3 stitches from the card. Okay, so this is very simple process and very easy. This card, comparing to the Queen of Hearts, it's the easiest pattern ever. I think the Queen of Hearts were really advanced pattern to follow, but I hope I did fine. Okay, so here you're done. And you crochet the other side just the same way. And look at this, it's already having some shape. Now let's sew here the shoes. Here I fasten with a pin in very central stitch, you see, from the shoes, and I put right there in the corner of the card. Here it's a little bit annoying to sew because it tends to move around a lot. So be patient, go slow, double check if it's in the right position, just to make sure that the shoe is taking halfway inside the card, halfway outside the card, which means the central part of the shoe should be sewed in the central corner, not in the center, in the corner of the card, if that makes sense. So let's sew this in the corner of this card. And you'll see it's moving around, so go slow, make sure that this will stop moving, because this is what we want, okay? And I'm leaving here showing you exactly how I'm sewing. I left this pattern to be with a lot of sewing, so you see, because that's very important in here, and we have a lot of pieces to sew together. Okay, this is looking just fine for me. I will do the other one. Once you finished both, watch out for this, I fastened the heart with a pin, but I don't want this heart to move. I want this heart to be very much in the center of the card. So that's why I add a lot of these pins. That's why I fasten with a lot of these pins. So just here, make sure that you don't, you don't pick yourself. And this, you will sew just like you sew the face. Remember I showed you that I like to sew like this. I bring the yarn up and then I bring the yarn down. And that's how I like to sew the details that it's on the surface of the toy. So yarn up, yarn down, and slowly go removing the pins. But I suggest you to remove just when you arrive very near the stitch, because then you can make like a nice curve, nice round here, and the heart will not be moving. So add as many pins you need to fasten this heart to make sure it will not be moving around. Okay, so here I'm just making sure that my fingers is always in the same position. And like this, you will continue going all the way into the heart, all right? So I will leave you here. You have seen enough how it shows, and I will come back so we can continue with this card. Great, look at this, this is nice. Now we will add here the head. The head is very easy to sew and it requires just a little bit of sewing, because you will feel when you crochet together the two hearts, the hearts are very stiff. So we will sew in this first round of the card, the tip of the hearts. Okay, so this two round part of the hearts is where we're going to sew the card. Okay, so we just need to bring it here on this one. And yes, you bring the yarn to the round part of the heart that you left over the yarn for sewing, right? And you make one stitch here and you bring to the other side exactly where the heart will be. Okay. And then you sew the second part and pull this tight, all right? So here, let's grab this stitch over here. Okay, I'm out of frame, I'm sorry, I did not see that. Okay, so just take the other side of the stitch. And you see, when you pull it through, it's already enough. The head will not be moved. It's nice and stuff. If you want, you can give more stitches here. I didn't. I think that was enough. And you just bring it back to the, you bring it down with the same yarn. I will now embroidery the ace here. All right, so now this is very simple. With the same yarn you were sewing the heart, or if you don't have yarn, you just, cut a new piece and use it. Let's embroider a very simple A letter here. And we will do the same again in the down part, okay? So here I'm taking the A with a space of 3 rounds. And this is very simple to work. I will show you here how I make the first one, and then we will do the second one. Very nice. This is looking super good. Let me just move fast forward here a little bit so we can do the second A off the camera. And great. You see, very simple, very easy. Now we will sew this, the back detail. Here you can just leave this here, but I will cut it, I think. So here again, super easy. I mean, it's boring to sew, I know, and I know that many of you don't like, but incredibly enough, I found a lot of people who likes sewing. I've seen in the comments here people saying that they don't have problem at all with sewing pieces together, sewing limbs together. I do it, but I'm not passionate about it. But now let's just put these cards together. You can maybe turn on a nice series or maybe put some good music. And then this can be a therapy for the day to sew all around this. Let me cut this yarn, yeah. Okay, enough. And here you'll do it again, Here I will not, I will do a different technique, not that one that I was using before to bring it up and bring it down. Here I'll take the complete stitch and we'll just sew all the way around. Oops, I bumped the camera. Camera is always staying in between my my arms, so where I'm working. So very often I'm bumping into the camera. I need to change some settings here. Never mind. So I will continue this off the camera and I will come back and ta-da! We are done. Look at this. Beautiful, very nice. This is the 6th and last pattern from the Wonderland collection. Can you believe it? You made it until here. You have now all the collections done. This is great. I really hope you enjoyed this pattern. I'm happy and glad that we are done with all the 6 characters from Wonderland collection, and I will see you on the next Thursday. Bye!